NASCAR brings the battle to the Bluegrass State. Tucked between Lexington and Louisville, the fans here know two things: hoops and horsepower. We're getting set to go green here at Kentucky Speedway as the NASCAR 15 Let's Play continues with the 17th race of the season, the Quaker State 400, presented by Advanced Auto Parts. Being one of the newer tracks on the schedule, teams' notebooks will be pretty thin, and even though this track has its similarities to other mile-and-a-half tracks, this one is no cookie cutter. It's time to find out who has it all figured out under the lights here in prime time. This is NASCAR on McBlam Racing. And the pace car makes the left turn down pit road as we come to the line, 2 by 2. Getting ready to race in the Bluegrass State. Trevor Bayne and Dale Earnhardt Jr. lead the way. Green flag is in the air. Intense racing already happening off turn 1 as we are 4 wide. Trevor Bayne and Earnhardt Jr. still battling side by side up front for the lead. We're trying to work our way into the top 10. Earnhardt Jr. making the outside lane work, but here comes Clint Bowyer. Bowyer goes to the lead. But J.J. Yaley leads the inside line. Down on the bottom, he'll go to the front. Oh, we're in the grass on turn 3! We're coming up the track. Around goes Bayne. And around we go, and the big one happens at Kentucky. Big wreck involving Eric Almirola, Tony Stewart, Paul Menard, Brad Keselowski, Jamie McMurray. Big wreck. Multiple cars involved there.
The safety crews are clear of the track. Pit road's now open. Crews on the wall.
Yeah, we're going to go ahead and stay out. I'm not sure what happened there. The car just jumped sideways as soon as I got on the brakes there. Sorry for the guys that wound up involved in that. There you have it. Going into turn 3 that time around, I got a little bit too hard into the brakes, and that resulted in a spin getting sideways as Yaley and Matt Kenseth are on the front row. Edwards, Bowyer Jr., Mears, Burton, Stenhouse, Vickers, and Joey Logano are the top 10. And we will restart 35th on the inside lane towards the back. Josh Wise pitted, got himself 2 tires.
Do it on this restart.
Yaley's going to lead them down to the line this time around. Inside of Jimmy Johnson.
Come on, buddy.
Green flag is back in the air.
Doing an awesome job today, buddy. The leader is 4 seconds in front. Right's clear.
Kyle Larson and Regan Smith making a bold move to the inside to go 3 wide.
1 down low. 3 wide, 2 low.
We're falling back to 40th.
Car approaching low.
Yaley leads them down the back straightaway into turns 3 and 4.
Car down low.
Side by side with Jimmy Johnson.
Inside.
Trying to make a move on Almirola. Ooh, contact with Jimmy. Contact. Ooh, Chase Elliott gets loose up top. But we get into him as a result.
Clear left side.
We work our way around the outside of Chase Elliott. He falls back to 41st. Dale Earnhardt Jr. is their new race leader. I don't know what happened to Chase Elliott there. That was insane. Some side-by-side racing action with Almirola and David Reagan. So we chose to make it 3 wide through the tri-oval.
You're doing good.
Ooh, but we're going to get cut off by Regan Smith as we're going to try to split the middle between Smith and Johnson. Johnson gets to run on the high side. We decide wisely to back out of that. David Reagan comes up behind
There's a
us.
5-second gap between you and the leader.
Because Almirola working the inside.
Low side's clear.
He took a look. We're using the apron to help us turn just a little bit. Regan Smith comes down to cover. As we go through the apron. Using the apron through the tri-oval. There is grip there, so we don't have to worry about losing the car too much. We got to be a little bit careful coming back up. As you can see, we're battling a little bit of a loose car here.
Gotta go get it.
See, the car gets really loose coming off the turn. We have to make sure that we don't overdrive it too much.
Personal best lap. Woo! Way to go, man.
As we've just logged our best lap of the race. We're going to reach the inside of Greg Biffle as Jeff Gordon is now taking over the race lead.
Clear right.
Jeff Gordon's teammate Jimmy Johnson mired back in this pack.
Keep it steady. He's coming high.
Oh boy, oh boy.
Outside. Clear high.
Really sideways off of 4 that time that allowed Biffle to get back around us.
Really, really loose off turn 4. That's going to make this all the more challenging.
A lot of difference in the way the car handles between night and day.
Back your door.
And we tried to use a different setup. Well, it's the same setup, but we tried to tweak the setup as much as we could so that we weren't wrecking loose. But we're still battling the slickness of the track here at night. The track temps are a little bit cooler. As we worked our way to the inside of Johnson.
Car approaching high.
Battling side by side with Ryan Newman.
Looking. Clear on the high side.
Inside of Newman, running the middle line, which is where we're actually strongest. The bottom of the track doesn't always seem to work for us there.
30 to go. 3-0.
We're catching up to Bobby Labonte. 30 laps to
Nice
go.
and easy. Just keep doing what you've been doing.
30 laps to go here at Kentucky. As we're now catching up to Brad Kozlowski.
Clear high. Keep the momentum. Let's go.
Trying to be as ginger as possible to get around these turns. Which makes for a decent challenge. It really shows that this track is not a cookie cutter to the other mile-and-a-half tracks.
Got a car behind.
Hal Busch got a little bit loose up ahead of us that allowed us to get around him. But it shows that this track is not necessarily a cookie cutter.
There's 5-second gap
Because the
between you and
handling
leader.
is very, very
Coming on the high
different
side.
than from tracks such as Las Vegas or any other mile-and-a-half. And whereas we do have speed, we just don't have the handling to be able to get around this track successfully and run up front. But we are working our way back up. We've worked our way up into the top 30. We did start 6th, but we're going to try to work our way back up there, because we are faster than these guys back here.
Keep digging.
But having a winning car is probably going to be a little bit... We'd have to implement some strategy if we were going to have a winning
Right
car.
side.
Working our way around Cole Witt. We're trying to catch up to Cole Witt, rather. For the 26th spot.
Clear up high.
Pit stops are already happening. You can hear us feathering the throttle there, trying to ensure that we don't get loose. But there we go. We're sideways, really sideways off turn 2. Edwards is now taking over the
We
lead.
can do this. Gotta keep focused.
That may mean that Jeff Gordon had come down pit road, or
That's a full second you've made up on the driver in
he
front.
simply
Way to
took
go,
the lead
buddy.
away from him. So we're now trying to catch Martin Truex Jr. Running that middle line, a little contact there, but we're fine. Little rub to the 78 as we work our way around Michael Annette, the lap car.
6 seconds ahead.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. now leading the race.
Check your outside.
Jr. having a really strong second half of the season.
Right side's clear.
Qualified well at Daytona. In the last few races, Jr. has run really well. And he's worked his way, being consistent, worked his way back up into the points lead.
7 seconds ahead to
Or
the
back
lead
up
car.
into the top 3 in points. Jeff Gordon is now taken back over the race lead as we work our way around Danica Patrick.
Clear on the low side.
So there is a battle up there, but it's most likely just because of the lap traffic. This Menard's got a little squirrely up there. We do manage to close in on him. We'll capitalize on that.
Car in front's heading to the pit. Clear right.
Gotta be concerned about tire wear here as David
Number
Gilliland
9.
peels off and goes down pit
Car
road.
up top, 2 back.
We're catching up to Austin Dillon.
Right's clear. Right's
Three
all
of
clear,
Austin Dillon
bud.
did not have a
On
good
your rear.
Daytona race.
And you're clear.
And that's not for not looking for him in the
First
pack.
is in front by 8 seconds.
We did look for him in the pack because we wanted to have him. We want to repay the favor and have him have a good finish at one of the restrictor plate tracks, but with him being mired back in the back of the field, we weren't able to do that. So we've now worked our way into the top 20, but that is definitely a result of pit stops. Now caught up to Ricky Stenhouse Jr., driving it a little bit harder now, trying to make sure we get some spots and
Car
we
in
get
front's
some,
heading to the pit.
make up some time on these guys on older tires. But at the same time, trying not to, at the same time, trying not to lose, trying not to use up our car too much.
High side's clear.
Around Denny Hamlin, as Denny Hamlin goes from the top to the bottom of the racetrack,
Clear on the left.
trying to keep us behind him. You can imagine he's probably not too happy with us after the incident earlier on in the race. So you can imagine we're probably going to have a little bit of a tough time trying to get around him. We do work our way to the inside. He couldn't hold us off. Here he comes trying to get the crossover move, but can't quite get there. So we use that middle lane to try to get us around the track.
Car in front's heading to the pit.
It's definitely our faster
Stay
line.
up top. Inside's clear.
This looks like J.J. Yaley or Kyle Larson. Kyle Larson
really
coming
good,
down
buddy.
pit road. Following a few others. Looked like Earnhardt Jr. may have been one of
Stay
them.
down.
We work our way into
Right
the top
side's clear.
11. Getting around Jamie McMurray. Bobby Labonte
Leader's
also going
10
another
seconds
lap
ahead.
down.
Clear left side.
Hoping we can survive to the end of the race. A caution would help close the field back up. But I'm unsure I'll be able
Closing
to
up top.
handle that on the
Right's all clear,
handle the
bud.
restart. Here comes McMurray,
That's a full second you made up on the driver in front.
Murray.
Way to go, buddy.
looking high,
Left side's clear.
looking to get that, looking
Car
to get
in
his
front,
position
pit.
back. McMurray goes down pit road.
Keep rolling.
Looks like Joey
keep rolling.
Logano went down as well. Harvick.
Right's clear.
So we're now catching up to Matt Kenseth.
Top five. Keep working. Clear right
Our way
side.
into the top 10, or top 5, excuse me. Kenseth working to get that
Got one
spot
working
back
the
though
bottom.
as he works their way to the
There's your
inside.
next victim right there.
We're side
Car
by
inside.
side. Through turns 3 and 4, Kenseth has the momentum. He'll
Clear
pull
left.
back up in front of us. We use the crossover move to get inside of him through the tri-oval. And we get clear. Now
7
into the
seconds
top
ahead to the
3
lead
as we
car.
work our way around Michael Waltrip. Pit stops coming up shortly for us as
Car inside
Waltrip
you.
crowds us a little bit.
To the left.
Tony Stewart now with the race lead. Leading a little bit over a second over Dale Earnhardt Jr. running second, who's 5 seconds ahead of us in third place.
The leader is 6 seconds ahead.
No pressure from the back from Matt Kenseth running fourth. We probably assume that we may come down within his next couple of laps. We'll be making our pit stop. To get 4 tires and fuel, Rick Biffle coming out of pit road. So is Ryan Newman. And there's Trevor Bayne, the pole sitter. Unfortunately, Trevor Bayne was caught up in the incident with us. And that doesn't happen very often. It's a
Clear
little
right.
bit. It's kind of weird.
Watch your fuel. You ready to dive in here, buddy?
Yeah, it's kind of weird that when I got on the brakes, that the car just started to turn and jump sideways on me, and I wasn't able to control it going down into the turn, and as a result, got down on the grass. So we're making our way down pit road, but as a result, yeah, we got down on the grass,
There's
and
5 second gap between you and the leader.
unfortunately,
Not too fast on pit road, buddy. NASCAR's watching.
You need some fuel. I think we should change those tires out.
unfortunately, we actually
Who's on the ride
caused a
already?
big wreck, a really big wreck that involved a lot of cars, including our pole sitter, Trevor Bayne, who's now having a fairly bad race, not really being able to recover. We'll adjust the track bar a little bit to try to get us a little more rotation through the
Make it
center.
count, boys. Be ready. Be ready.
Running the black Team KAOS paint scheme, sponsored by Tiger Moine Energy. Hoping for a good, clean pit stop. Now, I don't know what this will do for our loose off, but we'll be able to roll through the center, hopefully a little bit more with that little adjustment.
Great stop, guys. In and out. It's all up to you now, buddy.
Okay, go get him, man. We're still one of the fastest cars out there. Keep hitting your marks. You're a lap down.
And we're 1 lap down to Tony Stewart, who's not taken his pit stop yet.
Stay low.
Here
Car
comes
up
the rest
top,
of the
3
field.
back. Watch your
So
outside.
it looks like we've come out
Car at your
8th.
door. Up top at your door.
Now they're falling back to
Okay,
9th
come on,
as
buddy.
Ryan
Focus.
Blaney has moves
Get that
past
back.
us.
3 wide, 2 outside.
10th as Denny Hamlin goes around.
Eyeside's
Allmendinger
clear.
and Kane take over the top 10. Or top
Time to
11.
go.
We've fallen back to 12th. We're going to see if we can make up any more positions. We work our way to the
Really
inside
good
of
right here.
Kane.
Clear up high.
Still a little loose. Feels a little bit different than it did before. We're going to try to make our... Oh boy. Car is really sideways in 3 and 4 that time.
8 to go.
Okay, the track bar did not make it better.
And we didn't make much of a... We didn't make a big adjustment. So it's a little odd that we're so loose. 1 and 2 wasn't too bad that time, but we got to be a little bit ginger with the controls now.
That's it, little by little. You gained a 10th on the guy in front.
Gaining on AJ Allmendinger, who's having a really decent run. Running up into the top 10. Work our way inside of
7 to
Michael
go.
McDowell, who is currently 1 lap down. Tony Stewart is not pitted yet. He has not come down pit road. Tony may be hoping for a caution. If a caution comes out, it'll help him out some. Oh boy, we're sideways off turn 4. But we save it.
6 to go.
Oh, man.
And we lost some time on AJ Allmendinger. 6 laps to go. We're trying really hard to... Oh, boy. We're trying really hard to keep this car from spinning out. It is very loose. We just got to hope the tires will come in and help us. We definitely got a long-run car as we're getting really sideways.
We're just hanging on at this point, man. We are just hanging on.
5 to go.
Doing the best we can. 5 laps to go. Tony Stewart still leading the way. Being a little bit more ginger on the throttle. Ensuring that we don't jump sideways or spin out. We don't want to cause a caution and ruin our chance for catching up. AJ Allmendinger's moved up a spot. Brian Vickers is now
You're 1 lap down.
in the top 10 as Earnhardt Jr. is still out front.
You're up top.
Tony Stewart has come down pit road. Earnhardt Jr. has inherited the lead. Or rather, no, Tony Stewart hasn't come down pit road yet. Earnhardt Jr. and Tony Stewart have not pitted. We're just trying to make our way back up into the top 10.
3 to go.
3 laps to go.
That's a full second you've made up on the driver in front. Way to go, buddy.
Gaining time on Brian Vickers as Earnhardt Jr. is staying out yet another lap. This should be interesting. Does Earnhardt Jr. have enough to make it to the end? Or will he have to come down pit road as we come down to 2 laps to go? And we've now caught Brian Vickers.
That's awesome, man. Get past him.
Junior's coming down pit road.
We're on the inside.
As we're battling with Brian Vickers. Now, even though we'll get a lap back from Dale Earnhardt Jr., he may just be taking fuel. And he can still get out ahead of us as we take the white flag.
Come on, man. Keep that momentum. Keep that momentum.
And work our way into the top 10 around Brian Vickers. Here comes Earnhardt Jr. off pit road. Earnhardt Jr. still out in the lead. Jeff Gordon has now inherited the race lead from Dale Earnhardt Jr. Jeff Gordon leads him around. He has not won a race yet. As he comes off turn 3 and 4. Through the tri-oval, here comes a new challenger. Jeff Gordon will lock himself into the chase.
Jeff Gordon just won this thing.
We are mired back in lap traffic, but it's okay because we will walk away with a top 10 finish. After battling our loose race car all day.
Ooh, thank you. Thank you.
Now that was really impressive stuff out there today. Top 10 is really good.
Yeah. I did everything I could with what I had. But hey, I gotta be happy with the top 10 finish. Glad we was able to bring something good home for you guys.
9th place finish here at Kentucky. Jeff Gordon, the race winner. And he's been up in the top 10 in points, but he had not punched his ticket into the chase yet. But now that he has won his first race of the season, he has officially locked himself in. So let's go ahead and view the race results. Well, there you have it. There, Jeff Gordon is your race winner. He wins the Quaker State 400 here at Kentucky. Carl Edwards will come in second. Dale Earnhardt Jr., after gambling, does manage to finish third. Kevin Harvick in fourth. Tony Stewart in fifth. Blaney in sixth. Hamlin in seventh. AJ Allmendinger in eighth. Ninth is us, and rounding out the top 10 is Brian Vickers. And here are the rest of the field where you could pick out your favorite driver. And gotta be happy with the top 10 finish there. I wasn't expecting to fall back quite as bad as I did, but battling that car all day with the tight end loose off was really tough for us. Okay guys, so here are the points standing so far. As you can see, Dale Earnhardt Jr. and I have been swapping the positions for first place back and forth lately, but he had inherited another good finish ahead of us today, and he bounces back up into the points lead, 1 point ahead of us. We are in second place. By the way, Dale Earnhardt Jr. has 2 wins and 10 top 10s for Hendrick Motorsports. We have 5 wins, 9 poles, and 13 top 10s, including today. Kurt Busch for Stewart-Haas Racing has 1 win and 8 top 10s. Tony Stewart has 10 top 10s for Stewart-Haas Racing in 4th. Jeff Gordon, with his win today, has 8 top 10s, is in 5th for Hendrick Motorsports. Denny Hamlin is in 6th with 7 top 10s. AJ Allmendinger of JTG Daugherty Racing with 7 top 10s in 7th. Brad Keselowski of Team Penske did not have the best of finishes today, but he does go in. He does maintain the 8th spot with 7 top 10s for Team Penske. Carl Edwards from Joe Gibbs Racing with 1 pole and 7 top 10s in 9th. 10th is Kevin Harvick with 5 top 10s for Stewart-Haas Racing in 10th. Greg Biffle is 11th and for Roush Fenway Racing with 2 wins, 2 poles, and 5 top 10s. Brian Vickers is actually, hang on, I think it's Kyle Busch with Joe Gibbs Racing with 1 win, 1 pole, and 5 top 10s. Then Martin Truex Jr. for Furniture Row Racing with 1 win and 5 top 10s. Ryan Blaney with 1 win and 6 top 10s for the Wood Brothers. Austin Dillon for Richard Childress Racing with 1 win and 5 top 10s. And Jamie McMurray will round out the challengers for Chip Ganassi Racing with 1 win and 2 top 10s. So as long as he maintains his position in the top 30, he'll advance along to the chase. I left out Matt Kenseth. Matt Kenseth, who dropped back quite a bit with 2 wins, 1 pole, and 6 top 10s for Joe Gibbs Racing. So he dropped back quite a bit, but he is still above the top 30, so he should be fine. So today's race was very interesting. I tried to take some notes that from how I did last season at Kentucky, and I realized that I would slide up the track quite a bit. It was really hard to hold the bottom, and I tried to make some adjustments during practice and even some during qualifying to try to rectify that situation, because the handling difference between night and day is pretty extreme for Kentucky. And I think that's just because it's a newer track, and it's got a really, really slick surface. So, but it didn't really help out a whole lot. Like I said, I knew that I felt like we would do well, but not a win. We did not have a winning car, especially towards the end there. I tried to give it a little bit. I just went one tick on the track bar, so I could try to get it to roll through the center a little bit more, because I felt like if I could grip the bottom, I could kind of handle that loose off. But the moment I did that, the car was kind of wrecking loose, and I was just kind of hanging on. I was surprised I was able to make it away with a top 10 finish, but I would assume that everyone else's car was probably just as bad, and also why Dale Earnhardt Jr. didn't make the finish, and Jeff Gordon kind of ran away with it. But he did get his first win of the season, so good for him. He's definitely locked himself in the chase now. But I'm just happy to have walked away
from that. Like I said, it's an interesting track, interesting race. You only go there once. So definitely going to take some notes and prepare for the next season and see what I could do better, see what I could tweak and adjust and try to make the car handle a little bit better, hopefully have a winning car and come next season. So hope you guys enjoyed that, and if you did, thank you guys for watching. And if you like these races, I do them every week following the NASCAR season, and the next week we'll be at Loudon, New Hampshire. I can't remember what the name of the event is, but yeah, we'll be at Loudon, New Hampshire next weekend. So thank you guys for watching again, and I will see you at Loudon.